Hey Ashley, good progress here. Overall, I really like the concept and the fire in the grill and so on. A few suggestions that you may want to make before you submitting the final. Um, I would suggest making the caricature bigger, just because it really would stand out a lot more. Um, and basically, this project is really mostly about the caricature, and you just want it to really stand out. And it kind of gets lost in the background because the background's pretty complicated visually. So I would definitely make it bigger. Um, that's a little bit too big, but a cast shadow would also really help to ground it to the grill so it doesn't look like it's floating. Some of these areas need to stand out more, so you might want to give them a glow or something. Um, anything, images over a complicated background are just always really hard to see. Um, so you could do something, um, add like one of these layer styles, like a glow. Where did, shoot. Photoshop has been really acting up. Um, Not white, obviously, but maybe something kind of greenish or something because then it would kind of mimic this. This is too strong too. I think you need to really back off on this teeth one just because it makes it visible, but it just kind of sits there. It needs to be a little bit more subtle than that, but let's see. Could do yellow. Let me see here, or something a little bit darker. Um, and again, you might have to make it a little bit bigger. See, that's not really that good. It needs to be, since this is light, it needs to be darker so there's some contrast. Let's see. You could do a lot of things to make it more subtle. Yeah, I would probably go with maybe a darker, like a red or something, but something that's darker. Because again, you want it to see that makes it stand out a lot more. I mean, you can totally see the difference. We can just turn it off and see how then it just stands out so much more. But again, I think it's a little bit big, so I'd probably, cut it down a little bit. Um, I'd probably give it more opacity too up here. So anyway, that's and that's just one way to make it stand out. But again, so I can turn it off and see how it stands out more with it. And I would do it to this side too. Also, the text just needs more work. It's very hard to see. Again, when you put text over a complicated background, it's very difficult to see. So you might want to add more glows. The font doesn't really go with the theme. I would go to dafont.com and look for something that does go with it. I wouldn't space. I'd make it the type a little bit bigger, and I would make it closer to each other because it doesn't need to be equal spacing at all. I mean, this is kind of a kind of a cool, funky kind of a kind of a project. So there's no reason to make it perfectly spaced. So I would play with some of these things. But again, you might want to move all of this stuff into the where it can be seen down here in the negative space. Um, where's food? It's just not readable up over this grill unless other stuff is done to it. But again, I mean, it's a little bit more readable there, but it's just a little too small. It needs to be bigger. Okay, so those are pretty much my comments. I already gave you the uh, some suggestions about the green a few weeks ago, but so you might want to add them. But okay, so overall nice job. Just needs a little bit more work for the final, so I hope you have the time to incorporate it so you have a better portfolio piece and consequently more points as well. Okay.